Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're all having a fantastic week. So, today I wanted to share with you some ideas for Miscarriage Memorial. And this is obviously related to something very personal to me because I had a miscarriage just over 2 years ago. And I shared about it quite a bit on the page. And I did a Facebook Live with Vicky Skierpers, about miscarriage. We were just talking about, ways to cope and that sort of thing. So it's been quite an interesting journey for me. And I wanted to just update everybody on what's been happening for me. So my miscarriage happened in January 2 years ago, and it was really traumatic. I've shared a lot about that, over the last 2 years. And one thing that came up for me, which I mentioned in the last video, was that it's been very hard for me to heal and to move on from this experience. And part of that has been because I've kind of felt like I'm grieving alone because my children didn't know about it. My husband kind of, yes, he's been great support, but it still kind of feels like it's my loss. And I think about it, what happened all the time, but other people have forgotten about it. I mean, if I remind them, then they remember, but it's not something that is very present in other people's minds. So I really found it hard to move on, and I find it hard to find a way to, yeah, I mean, basically the topic of this video is that I need a way to memorialize what happened to me. And one of the big things I think that happened is that when my miscarriage occurred, we didn't tell my children because they were quite young. They both just started at a new school, and my daughter had just started grade 1. And it literally happened 3 or 4 days after they started at this new school. And I didn't want to give them anything more to cope with. And I had to be in hospital for a few days. So yeah, we felt it best that we just say that I was sick and that I had a sore stomach. So what the result of this has been is that now I feel my children are old enough, but when do you go and tell a child that you've lost a baby? It's kind of a bit of a difficult topic and not something that you want to put on your children. So the Friday, the Tuesday in January, the Tuesday, the 21st of January was the 2-year anniversary of my loss. And then the Friday was the day that I went live with Vicky on my page. And on that Friday, after the video, I spent quite a bit of time in the afternoon having a good cry. And I really felt my energy levels were gone. I felt really, really bad and emotionally drained, which is understandable considering the topic. And the next day, I took my kids out for an outing, and in the car on the way back, it was just me and my 2 children. My kids started talking about having a brother or sister one day and whether it's going to be a brother or a sister, and they had an argument. And everything just became too much for me, and I completely lost it. I had no control, and I started crying in the car. But it wasn't the sweet little lady tears that some people have, like very soft and quiet. It was letting it all hang out. It was crying, wailing, gnashing of teeth, that kind of thing, kind of scary stuff. And I pulled the car over on the side of the road, and my children were taken by surprise, as was I. But also they were quite scared and they were worried. And my heart broke because my daughter says to me, "Please, mommy, tell us what we've done wrong." And I said, "It's not you. It's just something I'm trying to cope with and something that happened a long time ago that makes me sad. It's fine." But they wanted to know exactly what it was. And clearly this was the moment that it was time to tell my children. And I did. And I'm very relieved I did, because it became apparent very quickly that they'd known something was wrong, because my daughter asked me, she said, "Is that why you've been so sad this week?" Is that why you were crying at the table? And I said, yeah, that's basically what's happened. So they'd obviously picked up on what was going on, and that things were kind of hard. And it's actually been a very healing process for me, because there's been so many occasions where I've been alone, sorry, not alone, but with other people, but alone in my thoughts, where I'm thinking about what happened. But for some reason, I can't open my mouth at that time, like my children are there, or, it's people that I don't know very well. You don't kind of like bring up a miscarriage to people you don't know that well. It's not something you kind of spring on them. So it's been quite the healing process for me personally, that my children now know. And something that happened the following day in the car, and this was my husband and my 2 children and myself, is we're driving along, and my son, out of the blue, just says, "Mommy, I'm so sad that the baby died. I'm just so sad. I wish the baby had lived." And then my daughter jumped into the conversation, and I joined in, and it was actually really nice. I mean, I know maybe it sounds strange, but it was really healing for me to have my children join in and talk about it. It's instead of me always being silent and sitting with these feelings myself. So we've been doing a lot of talking, and I've been wanting to memorialize the miscarriage for a long time, but nothing has felt quite right. It hasn't felt like the right time or the right thing to do. But I have spent over the last 2 years a lot of time coming up with ideas how to, miscarriage memorial ideas for my baby. Oh, hey, Lauren. Yeah. So before we go any further, I would just like to say, if you have lost a baby and you are struggling with it, please just leave a comment. It can be any comment you like. And let me just put up my thing. Where's my thing? There we go. You can win a one-on-one session with Vicky, that is a birth and bereavement doula. She was in my last Facebook Live about miscarriage. And if you are in the West Coast area, so Langebaan, Saldanha, Vredenburg, you can meet up with her one-on-one. Or if you are somewhere else in South Africa, you can have like an online session. Ah, Sancha. Yeah, that's beautiful. Lighting a candle each year for them. Yeah. So it's hard. And I'm so sorry you went through that. I mean, I went through one miscarriage, and I'm getting all teary thinking about what it must be like for 2. I mean, it brought me, I was telling myself I mustn't cry online. Not live anyway. Yeah, Lauren, it's terrible, I don't know, it brought me to my knees, that miscarriage. It was downright the most awful thing that has ever happened to me in my life, and I have struggled to get over it. So yeah, it's a very touchy subject. Okay, so I'm going to move on quickly to the topic on hand, and that is how to memorialize your baby. So the first thing is, give your baby a name. And this is something that I'm busy with at the moment. And I'm going to, my children and I are busy going through some gender neutral names, and we're going to choose one, and we're going to give my baby a name. And it's something that my children are really getting into, which is, it's emotional, but it also feels nice that they can be a part of it. And I think in a very big way, maybe I have not been ready to do a memorial because I've been waiting for my children, for them to be ready for it. Yeah, Shireen, I'm very sorry about the miscarriage you had last year. It is absolutely the worst thing to happen to a woman ever. Okay, so I think naming your baby gives it, it's kind of funny always talking about the baby or it. For me, it would be nice to give my baby a name, and that ties in with the next idea that I had, which is also the one that I'm going to be doing. Let me just put it on the next item, and that is a memorial tree. And this is also something that I kind of struggled to get my head around how I would do it. And this is basically planting a tree in the name of your baby that you lost, which is why I need a name. And I was going to do this a while ago and plant a tree on my parents' farm, but I thought, well, what if one day we leave the farm and then someone comes and cuts down my tree? You know, like that's awful. And we rent at the moment, so I can't plant it in the garden here. I wanted my tree to be in a safe space and a place where I could go and visit it. So, you know, almost like, you have a graveyard and you can go visit a grave. I wanted something kind of like that. And I've now found online, it's a place called Platbos. I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's somewhere up near Hermanus sort of area. And they've got a forest, and you can go and you can have a memorial tree planted. And when I saw this, I was like, that's it. That's where my tree is going to go. So I'm very excited. I haven't contacted them yet, but they've also got accommodation. So you can go and you can stay there for the weekend and you can go plant your tree. And maybe every year I can go back and stay there and go sit under my tree. So I'm getting all emotional again. Memorial tree. Yeah, I love the idea of a tree. It's just so, yeah, it's just something that suits me. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Oh, you gave your baby a name as well, Alexa. We were thinking of Alex or Alexis as well, because it's a beautiful gender neutral name. Okay, so next item is I've got memorial jewelry, and this is beautiful. I'm not much of a jewelry person, as you can see. I'm not wearing my wedding ring. I don't have any earrings. I don't have anything on. I do wear jewelry every now and then, but I don't have a lot of jewelry and I don't wear it often. So for me, it's not the best thing, but there's a lot of women that wear jewelry all the time, often. And this would be really beautiful, especially if you have ashes or something like that. There's some beautiful, beautiful jewelry places that make memorial jewelry out of ashes. I've seen the most gorgeous things. So that's definitely something to consider. And the next item is a miscarriage tattoo. I nearly did this. If you look online and if you're into tattoos, which I am, there are some beautiful tattoos. The one that I wanted to get was a family of birds sitting on a branch. So it's got the mommy and the daddy, and you can have like two little small birds for my daughter and my son. And then it's got a picture of a little bird flying away, which I thought was really nice. I actually booked the tattoo artist for this year and I've cancelled it. And it's just, that was the one that appealed to me when my kids didn't know, because I wanted something outside of me to match the inside. And yeah, a tattoo was something that I very nearly did, but I have decided to go with the tree. But yeah, if you like tattoos and that speaks for you, go look online. There are some amazing and beautiful tattoos. Of course, tattoos is not for everybody. Okay, next idea is, whoops, where is it? A statue or a plaque. So you can get a little statue. There's lots of statues of angels, or you can get a plaque for your home. You can also have it done and put it in the garden. Maybe if you have a tree, a memorial tree, you can also have a little statue or a plaque done as well. So those are all the ideas that really appeal to me, but there are lots of amazing ways to memorialize your baby. Let's just see what Sharina said. Yeah, a tattoo is awesome. I mean, I love tattoos. They are fantastic. I've got 2 tattoos. Oh, you interviewed a mom who makes memorial jewelry. Yeah, that's stunning, Lauren. Awesome. I'll include that link in my post, because I'm going to put this video up on YouTube, and I'm going to then put the YouTube video onto my blog, and then I'm going to share it on all my social channels. So thanks for that link, Lauren. I'll add that to my post. Thank you. And then the next thing that I just want to remind everybody of, if you watched my video with Vicky, Vicky Sherpas is doing a hearts release in October. October is Miscarriage and Infant Loss Month. I think Infant Loss Day is the 15th of October. So I'm not quite sure when she's going to do it, but she's going to do a hearts release. I'm just going to check my notes here so that I get, where's my notes? Okay, what she's going to do is, if you can either join, she hasn't got a date or a venue or anything set up yet, but in October, she's going to do a hearts release for infant loss. So if you've lost a baby, you can write your baby's name down on a piece of biodegradable paper, or she will do it. If you send her your name, she'll write it down, and then she's also got forget-me-not seeds, and then she's going to release that into the wind. So the paper will biodegrade, and then the flowers will grow, which I think is a really awesome and special idea. I'm personally going to be joining her when she does this. So my baby's name, when I've got one, is going to be in that. Lauren, if you want to join, Shireen, you can just contact Vicky, and she will. I mean, I'll share about it closer to the time as well. So if you want to join in physically in person, or if you want to just have your baby's name added into that, I think it's a really special thing to do. So I'm looking forward to that. What I'll do also is towards the time when I'm going to go plant my tree, I'm going to share about that as well. I'll give you more information on Platbos, and just some more information, because I just feel that this is a topic that we need to talk about more. It's something that's, it's devastating. It's so hard to get over. I mean, I think if an actual person had have died, I would have been a lot more healed by now. I mean, I don't know. I haven't had many people close to me die, but it's been really hard for me to get my head around, and it's been very lonely. So I just want to help anyone that's feeling lonely to just feel a little bit better. Oh yeah. Oh, the breast milk thing. Oh yes, that's the breast milk necklaces and the ash. I think that's gorgeous. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So it's time for me to announce my winner that will have a one-on-one session with Vicky, and that is going to be you, Shireen, because I know that you've been going through a really hard time. You shared with me on some of my social channels about that, and I really think you would benefit from having a good talk with Vicky. Over the last few weeks, I've chatted to Vicky a few times myself, and I felt that I've really moved on. I've really healed a lot. I think in the last month, since my last my last Facebook Live, I have really healed so much, and I've moved on a lot, which is great, because for a very long time I felt like this was going to kind of consume me. Cool. It's been fantastic chatting to you all. Thank you so much for joining and for sharing your experience and what you think of the ideas for Miscarriage Memorial. And I will put you in contact. Oh, Shireen, your little smile, little crying faces. Yeah, I know. Okay, now I'm going to cry, so I've got to go. I think that this will really help you to chat to Vicky. And I really hope that you get a lot out of it. I'm sure you will. And I'll be in contact with you as well, Shireen, to remind you when it's the heart's release and to let you know when I publish some more content in the same thing. Have a fantastic Tuesday. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I will catch up with you soon. Bye.